So I just wanted to give you some really simple exercises and breath work that is going to support the integration from the release of the core base chakra issue work that we've done. So these are practices that you can do every day, and you can modify them to what suits you. So just beginning, if we want to just come back to that breath work where we're breathing up from the earth, engage in Mula Bandha, and releasing Mula Bandha. But this time we're going to do it with the hands. So we're gathering prana from the earth, we're gathering the energy from the vital life force, all sustaining provider of Gaia. And you just feel this sense of drawing up as you use Mula Bandha through the Sushumna channel. And releasing, turning the palms down, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw. And you continue that circuit. The posture I'm using here, very good for releasing the ankle joints, but that might be too much for some of you, in which case you could just have your legs apart, sitting with your heel on the sciatic line, which is that line that I kind of call the thud, the line between the butt and the thighs, so it's in the mid part of the back of the thighs. If that is too much, of course, just sit in a comfortable sitting position and use the arms in this sort of qigong breath work. But however you are, just sort of neutralizing the pelvic bowl so you can feel a sense of gathering life force. You're not tipping it out and you're not locking, retaining it back. You feel the sense of neutrality and balance, and this sense of this upana rising force lifting up through your crown and at the same time rooting down. So you would continue this circuit breath with the arm movement for some time, and then you would come into Malasana, which we did before, which is either the heels up or using a prop. Using under both heels, you would use a little, pillow or whatever you have to support that. Or over time, the hips might open and you can ground them down, and then work with bringing the palms into Anjali Mudra. The essential practice here is to breathe the energy from the earth to the heart. And you just feel that sense of opening there, grounding, centering in this midline, the cross, at Anahata Chakra. So you're breathing up. And you really feel in this position the shins firing up. So this here is the earthing lines of the stomach line, just on the outside of the shins. It can feel a bit achy, but this is good. This is how you open the stomach line meridian channel. So you want to work with earthing, especially this time of year. So from here, then we could rise up, taking a wide stance, and release the hip flexors in goddess. So using the heel of the hand, straightening the arms if possible, so the shoulders come up to the ears, taking an inhale. Breathe up from Mula Bandha like you're gathering from your grounding cord. So you've had your grounding cord reconnected through the healing practice. Now you can really use it. Draw up all the way to the crown and releasing down. Use the heels of the hands on the hip flexors. And then we just shift the movement side to side. Breathing up, emptying out. Using Mula Bandha on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. Shifting side to side. Good for the knee joints, creating synovial fluid there, just keeping the lubrication as you shift side to side. The one we did the other day is just also ninja. So straightening out one leg, the heel might be up of the other leg, or you might be able to ground it down. The other option is to take hold of both ankles. Shifting side to side to traction out the ankles, or placing the palms down and keeping the bum low. So you're feeling the adductor release and the liver line opening up. So from here, you could just sit on the stomach lines. So it's once you've opened the base, you've unblocked the base. It's like you've kind of done the energetic colonic. And so now you can get the center of the Svadhisthana chakra, the sacral chakra, open. So if you're sitting here and you're comfortable enough to sit here, if that is too much, you could use a block again and sit on that with floating your tailbone, so it's just off the edge, and thereby we've still got an engagement on those stomach meridian lines. And then again breathing up with Mula Bandha. And emptying out. And curating that circuit, and then you might like to use the Ma Om. Ma on the inhale, breathing love, which means unconditional love is what Ma means. And Om on the exhale, emanating, radiating out light. So you would sit here for a good sort of 4 to 5 minutes, just putting pressure on those earth meridian lines and the stomach lines, which means that all the energy that's not going down the legs is actually being fed back into this whole womb, second chakra region. Just preparing us for the second chakra work that some of us will be doing. And so from here, and the breath still going in a deep cyclic way, that's the main part, is the breathing there with it. Then we can move into a practice that I would suggest, if you don't have much time to do, every morning, really vital. The most simplest thing you could do is just put on a piece of music that you really like, that has a bit of a drum beat, has a bit of a pulse to it, and allow a shaking. So we don't have to do it, as the tray release lying down, but shaking, standing up, just vibrating every cell. Now this is to energize the blood and get the chi and the pranic flow going. It clears the tamas that can really set in this time of year of winter. It really helps to keep the energetic flow from the earth flowing down, emptying out to the earth going. So essentially all it would look like is taking a wide stance with bent knees, neutralizing the pelvis, and then just shaking every single part, releasing the head, the jaw, and using a sighing motion as well, just to relax the shoulders, and allowing a real relaxation through the base chakra. So you might notice you're still clenching in your buttocks. You can just release that, relax that, and also see how the relationship is to really relax the jaw in correspondence to the pelvis. And as the pelvis sort of softens and opens and increases its mobility, you'll notice the jaw relax, and the neck, throat, jaw, sort of shoulder tension, which is part of this whole sort of pelvic goal, will just start to release. And energy that gets trapped in the head, like when we get headaches or migraines, it will start to drain down and will earth. So we're really teaching the system on a physiological level with simple yogic tools how to earth and ground. It only takes a few minutes, so we do have time for that. So we have to create that space, because this is how we can integrate some of that clearing. So if you've done the shaking standing up, one other option for you to do, which is part of the tray release, it's an exercise we usually do before we do that, lying on our back, soles of our feet together as the tray release, is actually finding a wall space. And against the wall space, we just slide down until our back is against the wall. So we are making a chair posture. And then we lean back against the wall till this arch just starts to lengthen. And it's essentially just sort of kissing the lower back of the spine back against that wall space. And that brings the pubic bone up towards the navel. It neutralizes the pelvis and it engages Uddiyana Bandha. And as we slide down, we'll start to feel the firing up of the thighs, the quadriceps, and you'll start to feel the tremor. When you feel that tremor, encourage it. You will get this sort of feeling of, I need to stop, this is aching, this is too much. See if you can go beyond the mind's resistances. These are the old, fear programs going on, and they'll try and restrict and stop you. But if you can, just try to stay with it a bit more. So you feel the heat rising in the body, you feel the shaking happening, the quivering, but you keep the sense of the alignment. So the knees are directly facing the feet. They're not talking, so you don't want to compromise your knee joints or your ankles at any point. Keep that facing forward and ground back into the wall and slide down it till you're in a chair sitting position. And kind of encourage that shaking vibration that will happen. So that's the last of the physical exercises, and that will be very simple little practice to kind of drop you into Shavasana, where we're going to go into the Viloma breath work. Because I felt in response to the group, it's really important to get our resting breath deeper now. Because a lot of what creates stress and sort of fear conditioning the system is because the psoas has been so tight, it's been restricting the diaphragm, and it's been creating this sort of panic, adrenalized clavicular breath in the chest. So some of us don't know that we're not even breathing properly. We're not even optimally taking life in and absorbing it and eliminating the old out. We barely want to be here. We feel frightened or unsafe, so we're like sort of tight, short breaths, and we don't know that that's completely unnatural. We've got so habitualized to that. Maybe we even learned that breathing pattern in the womb. So we need to really deeply learn to breathe into the belly. But it can't be a forced thing that basically creates resistance. It has to become natural. So we have to reteach the system over time. So this breath work is very, very simple to do. And I'll show you first of all I'm sitting up, but we will be doing it lying down with our knees bent, maybe resting our knees in towards each other. So first part of the breath, just focused on the inhale to begin with, is breathing into our hand and our lower abdominal regions. So it's just second part of the breath, opens the side ribs, the back ribs. It's like we expand sideways, opening through the diaphragm, opening the rib cage. Last part of the inhale is to breathe into the heart. So you feel the chest open, expand, and then we're maxed, top of the inhale, and then we want to empty out from the heart, and then you feel the ribs drawing in the diaphragm, and then emptying out the belly, last part of the exhale. So essentially we're doing a wave up the body and a wave down the body, but in 3 parts. We don't need to stop at long periods between each part. After a while it will get more comfortable to really isolate each part optimally, but feel it more like a sort of flow. Breathing in, and it helps the whole system rebalance itself. So lying down, it might look like this, knees resting in, so we release into the piriformis. So as you rest the knees in together, you feel that release in through the inner adductors, release the outer hips here, that sort of diagonal band. So you get some relaxation, opening that sort of jaw-like tension that can be here at the hips. So you feel that sort of passive release happening there through the piriformis. And you just relax the belly, maybe coaxing the pubic bone up a little bit just so that the lower back drops in to the ground. And you just begin by normal breathing at first. And then we take a deep breath in. I like to use the Yoni Mudra. So this is the downward facing triangle. This is actually for the second chakra, but it's also the symbol of the Divine Mother. So it awakens healing through the whole reproductive system, but also the creative center. So you face the downward triangle down, pointing towards the pubic bone just below the navel. Take a breath in to the lower abdominal region. And then the second part of the inhale, feel the ribs. You must feel this sort of expansion sideways, not just pushing up through the ribs, but you feel this. And then the heart. And empty out through the nose with the mouth still sealed. And again, inhale to the lower belly. Ribs expanding, feel like the umbrella's opening. Might feel tight in there, but we need to massage the fascia open. And the heart. Exhale. So this is the Loma breath, and if you know Ujjayi breathing, where we're filtrating the breath really slowly, then do it in combination with that. So that's the breath that sounds a bit like Darth Vader. If you don't know that breath, no worries, don't use it. Just be really slow and soft with the breathing in 3 parts. Once you finish the breath work, just let yourself sink into meditation by using the Ma Om, which is the best way to deeply integrate and open into true surrender. Thank you for listening. Om.